All right, let's talk business. If you're a small business owner, you know that your finances can feel like a giant puzzle you're trying to solve in the dark. Well, today we're going to flip the switch on. We are going to demystify your dollars and turn all that financial confusion into crystal clear confidence. Okay, I want to start with just one number. $40,000. Just let that sink in for a second. What could a number like that possibly mean for a small business? Well, believe it or not, that is the average amount of money a small business loses every single year just because of messy or inaccurate bookkeeping. It's a huge number, and it shines a spotlight on a problem that so many entrepreneurs are dealing with. So that leads to a really important question for you. Maybe it's not $40,000 on the dot. It could be more, could be less. But what is financial disorganization actually costing your business? And let's be real, that cost isn't just about the money, is it? It's that knot in your stomach during tax season. It's the confusion when you're trying to figure out where your money went. And maybe worst of all, it's those missed opportunities because you couldn't make a fast, confident decision when it really counted. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be this way. We can fix this. And the first step is just understanding the language of your business. So let's crack open the Bookkeeper's Toolkit and show you how all that jargon can actually become powerful tools you can use every day. First up, the big one, double entry bookkeeping. Now, forget the fancy term for a moment. All this really means is that for every financial action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If cash comes into your business, it had to come from somewhere, right? Like a sale. This system is brilliant because it makes sure your books are always in balance. So you might be wondering, well, why not just use a simpler method? That's called single entry. It's basically like keeping a checkbook register. Super simple, but it's really easy for mistakes to slip through the cracks. Double entry, on the other hand, is a complete self-checking system. It's the professional standard for a reason. It gives you the full picture and catches errors almost automatically. So where does all this information live? Well, it all funnels into what's called the general ledger. The best way to think about it is as the central database for your company's finances. It's the master file that holds the entire history of every single transaction you've ever made. Okay. Quick fire round. Let's break down a few more key terms you're going to hear all the time. Accounts receivable, that's just the money that's owed to you. Accounts payable, that's the money you owe to other people. Debits and credits, there's simply the two sides of every transaction we talked about. And the chart of accounts, think of that as a table of contents for your finances, a neat index of all your accounts. Now, once you have all that data neatly organized, that's when the magic really happens. You can start to tell a story. And that's exactly what financial statements are. They're chapters in the story of your business, and they reveal everything about its performance and its health. I mean, this is the big one, isn't it? It's the question that every single business owner asks, the one that probably keeps you up at night. After all the blood, sweat, and tears, are we actually making any money? The income statement answers that question, head on. It's basically your business's report card for a specific period, like a month or a quarter. It lines up all your revenue, subtracts all your expenses, and that bottom line tells you, plain and simple, if you made a profit or took a loss. It's your #1 diagnostic tool. Okay, so profitability tells us how we did over time. But what about right now? What is the overall financial health, the actual value of your company at this very moment? For that, you need the balance sheet. Now, this isn't a movie showing performance over time. It's a snapshot, a single picture. It shows what you own, your assets, what you owe, your liabilities, and what's left over for you, the owner, your equity. This is the report that banks and investors want to see because it shows the fundamental stability of your business. Oh, and here's a classic headache for business owners. Your income statement says you turned a nice profit, but then you look at your bank account and you just have to wonder, where on earth did all the cash go? The cash flow statement is the detective that solves this mystery for you. It tracks the actual physical movement of cash, money in, money out. It separates the idea of profit on paper from cash in the bank, which, as you know, is absolutely critical for survival. This statement is the ultimate reality check. So, we've learned the terms, we've seen the final reports, now let's connect the dots. How do you get from a shoebox full of receipts to these incredibly powerful financial statements? Well, this is the path to clarity. It's really just a logical 4-step flow. First, you capture every single transaction, every receipt, every invoice. Second, you record them properly using that double entry system.
Third, you do a quick check called a trial balance to make sure everything adds up. And finally, from that perfectly balanced data, you generate your financial statements.
So why on earth would you go through all this trouble? Because getting this right literally transforms your business. Tax time goes from being a total nightmare to a simple, organized task. You start spotting financial trends months in advance. You have solid, reliable data to make smart decisions. And most importantly, you finally get to have total confidence in your numbers. You know, this quote from Elevated Ledger just hits the nail on the head. This whole thing isn't about you having to become an accountant. It's about you having access to clear, accurate information so you can lead your business without all that constant financial stress. Because at the end of the day, that's what your financial records are doing. They're telling a story. Right now, that story might be one of confusion, maybe a little stress, but with the right tools, you get to be the author of that story. So I'll just leave you with this one question. What story do you want your numbers to tell?